Okay, hello crime scene unit. My name is Heather. I am the crime scene knitter and welcome to my little corner of the internet. Welcome. So today I know last episode I talked about having sort of a thoughtful conversational YouTube video to put up about how I climbed out of burnout, because I covered how I got into burnout the last time as a content creator. I use that term to apply to myself very, very loosely. But I decided today that I didn't feel like doing that. I instead feel like doing a sitting on the floor episode where I show you guys what I have been working on, because I've been on the floor working today and I didn't feel like doing anything else. So here we are. Hello. Oh, there we go. Crisscross applesauce. I'm 32, so it's a little bit creakier to be on the floor now, but I can still do it, and that's what's important. So for those of you who are new, if there are any of you who are new, I use this channel to talk about my crafting now. Used to talk about crime scene related things, but now I don't. Today and every day going forward, it is just crafts. So I have an FO, that is very exciting. I have an almost FO that is frustrated me just a touch. And then I have a work in progress that I think is really, really exciting. I wanted to show. It's not a ton of stuff that's happening right now, but just enough that I figured, I'll make a little video. So let's do my almost FO. I have been working on making mermaid dolls for some family friends, and this is the mermaid that I am working on right now. She has short curly blonde hair, a skin tone top, which I've interpreted to be yellow because yellow is the color of yarn that I had for that, yellow tail, and then like a blue, pink, turquoise, purple fin. So this is where we're at with that one. And I like to think that I color matched the tail really nicely. Like, you see it? Yeah. The hair is coming out phenomenal. It's so bouncy and fluffy and curly. I thought I was going to be done with the hair yesterday, but I have that much, like that little bald spot there, that I need to fill in. So I had to do a whole other rod of hair and curl it in the oven. This is a pattern that I purchased from, Holly something. I can't remember her last name. She goes by The Proper Pineapple. She's got a YouTube show. She sells a bunch of patterns, particularly dolls. So if you're curious about making this, or if you want to learn how to curl the doll hair, it's a paid-for pattern. I did modify her pattern a little bit because I didn't like how it looked in the body and in the fin particularly. So this is not her pattern. She has a different way, but that's the starting off point for me. I just need to do that little teeny bald spot of hair and arms, and then we're done with mermaid number 2. I've already done mermaid number 1, and she's sat here languishing, waiting for me to finish the others. And I don't have any excuses now. I have the spine. My husband made the spine that I needed for the doll, and I have other projects that I'm like, oh, I want to start this, so I want to start this, but I have to get the dolls done. So that's what I've been doing this weekend mostly, is just hair. The hair has to be placed one strand at a time, which, as you can imagine, is somewhat time consuming. So that's what I've been doing. Okay, so that's my almost FO. I'm almost done with her. My actual FO is over here on the floor. And this is the reason why I've been kind of a floor goblin today. Because I had to dig into my button collection to pick out buttons for this. This Pie a la Mode shawl. I have not blocked this, and I did shorten it somewhat because I didn't want to wear this as a shawl necessarily. I wanted to wear it more as a poncho. So I'm probably going to have to block it just to get it to stretch out the way I want it to. But securing it, this is messy. This is not how it's going to look, but like this. something like this where it's fastened and it's got the frill, and now that I'm looking at it, it's kind of glamorous old Hollywood almost, which I don't normally dress that way. I usually dress kind of like Hobbit core or someone who just fell out of a tree. But this is really fun. I enjoyed making this. It's a paid for pattern. I bought yarn that was like a kit for the pattern, and I have a Ravelry page for it. I am Crafty Kitten 7 on Ravelry, so if you are interested and you want to see how I made this, what I did, it's all on there. So that's my FO, and I need to pick out buttons. So I have been going through my rather extensive button collection in here. Let's get too close to me for just a moment so I can show you. So that chest, both of these chests contain my button collection. Here, let me get down. Okay, so I have so many buttons, and I went through all of them this morning because I'm just a little bit obsessive that way. And I have selected a grouping of 17 that I think are good candidates. And of that 17, okay, oh, that's too low. There we go. Of that 17, I have selected 6 that I think are very good candidates. And I have them as thus. I have a floral button. It's wooden floral. I have a very small plastic white kind of almost smoky design button. I was almost going to say, tell me if you guys can't see these. You can't. Ha. This one. So this one is kind of one of my top 2 right now. It's a mother of pearl backed button, and it's got like a purple ring around it. There we go. I call this brass, but I don't think it's actually brass. I'm not sure what this is made of, but it is a round button. It's got some like scroll work or some designs on it. I have another shell button. This has got like a brown edge. Yep, there it is. And then the last button I was looking at is kind of a green, like a emerald or a foresty green, and it's like a diamond or an oblong shape here. So once I pick out my buttons, I'm probably going to have to block this first, select where I want to attach the buttons, put them together, and then I can wear it like it's a poncho, a ponchette, a little poncho. So yeah, something like this. Some where it's just sort of secured to the side and the ruffle can kind of cascade down the arm. I like that kind of look. I've been really getting into shawls lately, and I want to do buttons to make this a poncho so that if I decide to throw it over my shoulders or to use it as like a scarf even or something like that, I can still modify it. So this is the joy of knitting, is that you can be versatile with your things and how you wear them and how you make them and all of that good stuff. The other thing that I have to show you guys today is a work in progress. This is Hey Cove, a cardigan pattern by somebody who has a name, and that escapes me at this moment. And I've made lots of progress, but I need to rip back. So this is what I have so far. This is the back of the cardigan, and you can see I've got my color work that I've started. I made my own chart for this, which I have done before in the past with like my snail vest. I showed that a while ago. And I love that. I love making my own color work. I love taking the bones of somebody's pattern that they've already written, because I'm not smart enough to do that part by myself, but then just like changing it and making it mine. This is the front. So this cardigan is worked top down all in one piece until you separate for sleeves, and then I imagine you pick up for sleeves just like you would any other way. And I love how far along I've gotten. It's gonna look kind of like this. This is how the sleeve is gonna sit, and it's almost looks like a satin sleeve, I think is what it's called. Not sure, correct me if I'm wrong. Color, phenomenal. I already know from experience that the camera is not going to capture the color properly because this scummy green is so good, so scummy, so green that I have not ever been able to capture it accurately on camera. But that being said, I have to rip back because I've decided to change the chart. Not going to put a picture of my chart up because I feel like that's kind of proprietary to me, but I have a Loch Ness Monster. So this is the Loch Ness cardigan, I'm calling it. And I made it kind of small, and I didn't know how it was going to look on the back fabric of the cardigan. I'm still thinking about how I want to balance the colors in the cardigan and have like a panel in the back with the Loch Ness Monster, and then I know I want some color work around the bottom edge just before the ribbing. I'm thinking of doing contrast coloring cuffs and ribbing. I'm going to have the button band. I'm thinking about, do I want to do pockets? Do I want to do color work on the arms? Like, I have no idea. I haven't gotten there yet, but I do know that this back needs a bigger chart. It's got the Loch Ness Monster has to be bigger. I'm going to double it. I think I have enough room. I've done the math. So I need to print out graph paper that is even tinier squares than the graph paper I have right now. Redraw my Loch Ness Monster sort of graphed color chart. Double it in both width and length. Rip all the way back to before I started the previous color work, and then I have to start the color work again. And I'm not super mad about that. I think when I was a newer knitter that this would be completely like upsetting to me to the point where I would toss the whole project and just say, screw it, I'm done. But now I understand that this is part of the process, especially since I'm kind of making my own stuff, my own designs. So that's it. That is all that I'm working on, and it's only been 12 minutes of filming, so that's not terrible. But yeah, I'm going to do the digging myself out of burnout episode at some point when I feel like it, and that, I'll leave you with that tidbit. That's like a teaser. That's part of how I dug myself out of burnout, is that thankfully this is not how I make a living, and I am honoring when I don't want to do something by not doing it. So that's it. Okay, well, I hope that was entertaining for somebody, and if not, then I am entertained by making it, and that's good enough. So I hope everybody has a very crafty week, crafty weekend. Remember that commercial knits are for the week, and I will see you on the next one. Bye.